Hey y'all, welcome to our podcast. I'm Soph here with my homegirl.
No.
And this is our podcast, as I already said that. Is this how it ends? Where it's girl talk with twists. You know, we talk about aliens, conspiracy theories, regular old gossip. Just nothing is off the table. We go through it all. It's a little weird, it's a little dark, but I promise it's gonna be a lot of fun, some laughter, and all of that. So sit back and get ready for the show.
All right.
All right, let's kick it off, Janelle. So, should we talk about a little conspiracy theory?
Let's do it.
All right. So, I love a good conspiracy theory. I was introduced to them in 2020, peak COVID, while people were losing their minds. I discovered Reddit, and Reddit is a crazy place.
It's a rabbit hole.
It is a rabbit hole that there are times like I come up for air and I'm like, oh my god, like we did have one path. So I've learned how to limit it. I've learned that everything is a conspiracy on there. If you say the sky is blue, they'd be like, let's hold that thought for a second. But there are things that I've learned that start out as conspiracy theories and they end up being true. But we're gonna do a fun little game. Janelle, I'm gonna read a couple of things to you, and you're gonna tell me. You're gonna point out which is the conspiracy theory in all that I'm telling you. So I'm gonna pull up my notes.
Okay.
And let's get to it. All right. So the first one is so there was a Belgian man who has a disease where his body brews alcohol. And he was arrested for driving under the influence, and he was able to beat it. So that's it. Like that's gotta be pretty cool, right? Walking around, your body brews alcohol, so you're probably like,
I'd be lit all the time. Okay.
Good mood all the time. And your liver doesn't suffer, nothing suffers. I'm all in. Like, how can I get that? There's another one. It's a disease, or it's a symptom. It's not really a disease, but it's a syndrome where people see demon faces. It's called prosopometamorph. It's known as demon face syndrome. So it's a visual disorder characterized by altered perceptions of faces. In the perception of a person with a disorder, facial features are distorted in a variety of ways, including drooping, swelling, discoloration, and shifts of position. So when someone tells you, that's the devil, believe it.
So this demon face looks like Diddy. That's what you're saying.
That's probably what I am saying. Yeah.
Okay.
And the last one I'm going to mention is the penis facial. It's a facial that includes the donated foreskin of a Korean baby. No other baby has to be a Korean baby. And a lot of celebrities, including Sandra Bullock, love these facials. So now tell me, Janelle, which is the conspiracy theory?
The second one.
The demon faces.
No, the last one. The last one.
The last one, the penis facial?
Yes.
So this was a trick one. All of these are true.
Oh, man.
All of these are true. So the man whose body brews alcohol, it's actually a condition. It's a legit condition. Like I feel like I hear about new things every single time. I'm like, you know what? This was just introduced into the timeline. Like, I'm also a believer in the Matrix. I'm like, this was introduced into the timeline. And now we have these random diseases. And it's known as autobrewery syndrome, in which a person's gut ferments carbohydrates into ethanol, effectively brewing alcohol inside the body. I love it. And then in
the bar.
Yeah, and then the demon faces, that's crazy, right? When people tell you they see demons, like they see dead people, maybe believe them. And then I think it's a lie. I think that people are actually seeing demons.
Yeah.
And now we've created a disease to like just
makes sense.
You're not seeing Diddy. You're just it's something. It's a disease. So, yeah. And then the penis facial one is gross. This is why people believe like those in Hollywood are into some crazy shit, which they are. But
they're all witches, all of them,
right? They're all witches. Like when you have that kind of money, I mean, anything is.
Yeah.
Nothing
all witches.
Like I don't even know how I go into a place and be like, I would like the penis facial. Well, it's called the foreskin. Like, who thought of that at first? Like, who thought of that? And how did you come to this thing where you figured out, if we take it's donated to, allegedly it's donated. If I take the foreskin from a Korean baby, this might be good. I might look younger. It's also like, I don't know if you heard about that weird thing, like people injecting like blood.
I heard about the vampire facial.
Yeah, but this is where all these come from. Like this, like where there's smoke, there's fire. Like if you told me like this penis facial stuff and I didn't see Sandra Bullock talking about it, I'd have been like, oh, you people are crazy.
Now we're gonna keep this PG-13, but that's kind of like a double entendre, just saying penis facial. Penis. Hey!
I do love that. Well, that's my rant on conspiracies. We're starting it out a little slowly, but they might get a little crazier as we dig into some stuff. So
that was pretty weird, and I loved it.
I know, I love weird. Weird is my thing. Weird is our thing. I love that we love weird. So we could foray into something a little less weird. You know?
Well, it's still pretty weird. But now on to normal stuff. Before we get started, I'm just going to burn some sage over this whole situation. Okay, because this is some BS. All right. Ashe.
All right.
Okay. All right. So for those of you that have been hiding under a rock, last week, Friday, CNN released the video footage of Diddy and Cassie within a domestic violence situation at a hotel lobby. This happened in 2016. And before, if you would have read the court documents that recounted the incident, you actually like saw the video. So
I haven't seen it. I cannot watch it. I don't want to watch it.
It's very hard, but I'll describe to you what happened. So you can see that Cassie is running to the elevator, walking to the elevator, and she doesn't have her shoes on, and she has like a couple of like bags, so she's waiting for the elevator. Diddy must have been in the shower because he comes out in the towel. And so he like grabs her like from in the back of the neck, and then he like throws her down, and then he kicks her twice. Now, to read the words in the court document, like that's painful, like to like read, right? But then to like actually like see it, it was disgusting. And so there's a certain thing where he ends up dragging her back to the hotel room. And then there's another part where you see that she's kind of like out of range, but he throws a vase at her. And he's doing this in a towel. And so, yeah. So my issue, of course, is with Diddy, right? But my main issue is with these Diddy supporters who, even before we had the video that was released, people were supporting, right? It's cash grab, and you trying to take a black man down, blah, 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 all of that, right? But now you have the video footage, and there's still people that are supporting him. And now he gave this BS apology, which was such a narcissist apology. He didn't even apologize to her. He apologized basically to the public. And it was pathetic. And you can tell someone wrote it for him. And of course, it's like, oh, I was at a low point in my life, rehab, good, blah, 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 blah. Right? It was absolutely pathetic. And then you have Christians talking about, oh, yeah, forgiveness and, and I'm just like,
problem neighbors,
really?
the black church, like they are the problem.
So, I hate to be quoting Rick Ross, but it's God forgives, I don't. Okay. And in terms of the court of public opinion, like he should never be forgiven. This man lied, put out a statement. Him and his lawyer put out statements saying that what they were saying was untrue. What these people were these people coming forward and saying were untrue. And then this comes up. What do you say? What do you say to that? But for me, and there was this, I forgot what social platform it was under, where, these men were talking about, oh, Chris Brown got through it. Ike Turner got through it. So, Diddy will get through this too with like God's mercy. What? All of these abusive men. How? Now we want to bring God into this. Now we're bringing God.
We always do. They claim they turn to God and they're saved, and now the church is like, oh, forgive him, bring him back.
But this is the same God that revealed this, right? This is the same God, right, that Cassie was probably calling on to like stay alive, right? Mm-hmm. It's the same God, right? The God that is serving justice to these people. And it's particularly these men that are poor. You are poor in your pockets, you are poor spiritually, and you defend this man because you want that capability. This is why you're poor. This is why you'll never have money. You'll never be rich, because if you did, you'd be demons. You'd have more demons. We would see all these demon faces that you talked about would be walking around.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't understand it. And it's not just, it reminds me of the whole R. Kelly. Like, to this day, this man still has supporters. There were people paying his lawyer bills. Like, it's I'm not sure what it is. Is it, it's, sometimes we have these idols, right? Like in our community, like we put them on this pedestal and it's like, they're there and you cannot bring them down. If you bring them down, that's like bringing shame to all of us. And no, we're not a monolith. We're different people. We're capable of different things. We're capable of love and we're capable of Diddy, right? That's a whole level of evilness. Like that's just who we are.
Yes.
If one of us steps out, we need to check them. And Diddy, and people have known that Diddy was awful.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of those, like in Hollywood, right? Like an open secret. Like you just know, like Harvey Weinstein, I think that's his name. Like there were jokes in public about him. Like you just know he's awful. Like you just know this is what he does.
Bishop T.D. Jakes, who was at Diddy's party with a little orange short set on. All right, now you get to the pulpit, and then you want to talk about, domestic violence. But even then, there was like hints of like, say prayers for like the perpetrator and the victim. Really? But you'll be quick to call out promiscuous women that don't know how to be wives. You can call out the women, but when there's actual proof, no, say his name, condemn him. It's just really disgusting. And for these men that continue to support men that are morally corrupt because they want the access and the power to misuse people, to fill their black hole of a soul with like people. And when I think about Cassie in particular, right? Beautiful girl, right? And I don't know much about her. But she seemed, even the way she's handled this, she waited till the deadline in terms of the statutes of when you can submit for like the civil suit. She waited all that time, because it was about to be over, so it wasn't like she was out here to get some major cash grab,
right.
But she seemed like a very meek person, right? She's meek. She's beautiful. And when you encounter like these evil men, they want to snuff your light. And even then, like he couldn't do it, right? He could not. Like, despite what Cassie has gone through, she still ended up being married and having kids and to still have the capacity to love after, I don't know if you read that, like, to have gone through that. I don't know. Again, I'm tapping into spirituality and all this, these other things, but just the people clamoring for like darkness and to want to have these opportunities. This is why you're poor. You would defend, you have video evidence.
This was in 2016. Like, so someone held on. He must have paid the hotel off or something.
He did. He paid them $50K. And so I'm very curious as to why it's being revealed now. I think the powers that be are just like, look, we got your card. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe he's not cooperating the way he should, and they're showing power because this hotel has been sat on since 2016, and now there can't be charges.
Yeah. I feel for Cassie. I have a daughter, and I just hope, because sometimes, you go for what glitters, right? Like, he's puffy. He has all this money. Sometimes you want to be a part of that. You want whatever clout he has. You want whatever connection he has, because she was an artist, and she wanted that limelight. And I'm sure she probably was like, this was not worth it.
Yeah, like I'm sure if she knew what she
had
to go, she would have never known. And this happened like first she was like 19. And so, and also it was different times. The internet wasn't right now, and so maybe you hear rumors, but you don't know how much of it's substantiated.
It's not uncommon, especially, it's not uncommon. I'm sure her story is like a lot of other stories.
Yeah.
These women get exploited in Hollywood.
Yeah, but they
finally find their success, which
look, these Hollywood men, I don't know if you've seen also the documentary called Quiet on the Set, which is about child molesters.
It just makes me hate humanity. Like, I'm already in a phase that's like most of us are trash. Like, why are we even here? Like, I'm just waiting for the aliens to come and just be like, I don't know.
We're just dwelling in the land of the soulless. And my thing is,
it's getting worse.
Zombies is neither Walking Dead. That's what's happening. And instead of people seeing like, look, eventually karma catches up with you, you still want to chase this lifestyle. You want the ability to take advantage of people.
People want money. They want the clout. They want
to feed something, but they want to feed something that can't be fed unless you actually do like the inner work.
Yeah.
And so it leads to all these debaucherous things. And these men, you work at Chick-fil-A, sir. Why are you here defending Diddy? Is he going to order chicken sandwiches from you? Like, I don't understand.
Well, that goes to, we've talked about this. Like, there are a lot of men, like, they hate women.
Yeah.
They want to go back to which I think they've always hated women. Like, I think their place, you shut up, you take it, and that's it. That's your role. We don't want you working. Like, we just want you barefoot and pregnant while we go out here and have sex with other men, which I'm not judging that, but I just, like, if you hate women, just don't. Like, there's a lot, like, even just the way women are portrayed. Like, I was at the gym and they just replayed music videos. I kid you not, every single woman looked the same. And every single one of them was doing the same choreography, very sexual. Like, I sound really old right now, but it was just like, and like, you see the men and they're like in these raggedy t-shirts and just like singing, and like women are like all sexified and doing these dances, and they're all like the same person choreographed all that shit because they all look the same. They're all like mini-me's. I'm like, this is so bizarre. Like, if you ever like just look at stuff, you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Girl, look.
This does not make sense.
Before we move on, just to piggyback off what you were saying. So there is this movie that like won some awards recently called Poor Things. I don't know if you've seen it. It stars.
I wanted to see because I like that girl, that woman. I mean,
yeah, I forgot her name, but
Emma Thompson or something.
Emma Stone. Emma Stone.
It's Emma. The first name is Emma. I know that.
It's Emma Stone.
Okay,
but she did a good job in it. And so I happened to watch it, and basically, like, this Willem Dafoe was like this Frankenstein kind of character, or mad scientist kind of character, and he creates this. He finds this woman in like a river. She had attempted to, off herself, and she was pregnant. And so he does this like surgery where he takes like the child's brain and puts it in this grown woman's body. And so basically she goes on this journey of like exploration, which of course includes a lot of sex. And it's supposed to be like this take on like feminism, but it was actually just like quite sad, because you're saying, and a man like directed this, whatever, that you want these women, with these adult bodies, but you want them to have the brains of children. And then as this character started like getting her own autonomy and like learning again, that's when he was just like, I don't want to deal with you anymore, because now you actually have thoughts of your own. And so it was interesting, but I just felt like it was an incel's version of like what feminism is. And it's just like, you don't want women to have thoughts of their own. You want them to exist for you. Yeah. I mean, we could do a whole other podcast on that.
But we did want to watch it.
I would say watch it just visually. It's very stunning.
That's weird. She has the mind of a baby, but she's just going out there like having sex.
Yeah, so I need you to the lines, read between the lines and all of that, because yeah. Well, y'all, that was for our segment of normal stuff. It wasn't that normal.
It was awful.
It was awful. That's why I had to burn some sage. Because
it should be like humanity's
screwed.
We're just Black excellence. Like you are not for anyone but yourself.
Yeah.
I hate that phrase, because I just hate it. Because the people screaming it are out for themselves.
Look, girl, I have to show you this video about Jay-Z and Beyonce and whatnot, because
they're not even like, they're in a league of their own. Like, they can't even, I don't like people who think like they're just doing something for us. Like, they're like, our album is so, like, whatever.
No. They're doing it for yourselves, to line your pockets.
They ain't about the revolution, girl. They ain't about people.
At all, right? Okay. There'll be the same people that will be like, boycott this institution. Then the institution gives them a stake or gives them a position of power. And then it's like, oh, support me, Black people. And it's just like,
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's it for normal stuff. And now we're going to talk about the Mars housing lottery. So Earth is ghetto. Earth is ghetto.
We just proved it.
And we just talked about, right? And so Soph and I like, look, we gotta get out of here. Okay. We gotta go. And so, but not everyone can go with us. And so we decided that we're going to go to Mars. Now, I mean, this is Mars in theory, which Soph informed me that we really can't have life on Mars, but we're going to pretend like we can.
Like, I don't know, NASA used to, whenever they send pictures of Mars, they use a filter to make it look like barren and uninhabitable and all that, which there's maybe they're a liar. They're liars. Another conspiracy for another day. So we might be
keeping Mars to themselves. Okay.
Yeah. Right. They might.
Yeah.
They vacation there. They watch down on us and they come back like, oh, hey.
Yeah. So we decided that we are going to treat Mars, just like how, the New York housing lottery, not everywhere can go. Sometimes you gotta wait, but once you get in there, you're pretty lucky, right? But another draw, okay?
Pass it down to your grandkids,
But so every episode will bring up some people who we think are useful, who'll be useful in Mars. I'm just letting you know, all Black women are going to Mars. Full
Michelle
stop.
Obama is our leader.
Yeah.
For now, I think that's who might make a good leader. I might change my mind, but for now.
Yeah. So just know this is where we are.
Yes.
So I will propose some people. Soph will propose some people, and then we have to make some decisions because not everyone can come.
Yeah.
All right. So Soph, do you want to talk about who you'd want to bring to Mars?
I don't know. So I'm torn, right? Like, what kind of society do we want Mars to be, right? Are we back to basics? Are we living off the land? Hopefully the land can support us. Or, do we want like all the trappings of a civilized world? Like, do we want our phones? Do we want like cars? Do we want all of this? Because that might, I don't know, that might depend on who I decide to bring over. So that's all to say, I'm thinking about it, girl. I'm thinking about it.
All right. Well, I will talk about my choices for Mars. Mm-hmm. So I chose 3 men, 3 Black men. One is Greg Jenkins. He's a Philadelphia native. He's a meteorologist at Penn State University, studying how population aggravates lung illness in West Africa. He is also working to better forecast extreme weather events in West Africa, which threaten farmers in the region, right? So we're going to need someone that's going to help with the weather, what's best to grow crops. So
live off the land.
Live off the land. Leslie's doing work in the motherland. So shout outs to Greg Jenkins. All right.
Okay. Coming along.
All right. Our next one is Jermaine Barnes. He's an architect. He is an award-winning architect, and he has Mining Architecture Social and Political Agency. He examines how the built environment influences Black domesticity. All right. So definitely he has constructed things that think about, I guess, the Black domestic experience. So I think what he builds will be for, the betterment of us all, right? Like urban planning, but for us.
We need urban planning. Yeah.
And my last one, I practice some restraint. So because you said we can't have a whole bunch of celebrities on Mars, we have to have useful people. But I did slip in a rapper, Lupe Fiasco. I believe he's an Aquarius. And
Aquarius? Is that important?
Yes, it is important, okay? Because Aquarians are very smart and they think outside the box. And if you listen to his music, like his stuff sometimes is so like complex that you have to really listen to it, So you may know him from his successful debut album, Lupe Fiasco's Food and Liquor. He's pretty awesome, and I think he would provide entertainment that would also make us think and inspire the masses.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar, he's canceled for me in terms of that. It would have been Kendrick if he wasn't involved in that weird beef with Drake.
That is a weird beef. Like 2 men gossiping is just so odd. People gossiping, period. That's all it is. It's weird.
And it's also that it's like, who treats women worse? Like, oh, you're a beater, but oh, like you're kind of like a beetle. Like all of y'all are awful.
They are awful. This is why we need to stop putting these musicians and these actors and actresses on these like weird pedestals that when they do something, we're like, it should be like when they do something, you're like, I knew it.
That's right.
I knew
it. Knew it. So since we're like the co-op board, the condo board for Mars, do you agree with all of these candidates to go?
Do we need an inventor?
We do.
Lenny Smoot is girl. Why can't I never get this together? So he's an inventor at Disney. I'll probably jack this all up. And he actually created the lightsaber was a concept from all these Star Wars movies, right? Like, the lightsaber where it opens up.
Yeah.
Was it that Dave Chappelle? I digress. But so he actually created one. He created one, right? That's because mostly I think normally in movies they would just use computer graphics, but he created a physical one that it comes out and goes back. He created an actual, and he holds more patents than anyone at Disney. He has about 106, and he is only the second Disney employee ever inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. And the first one was Walt Disney himself. I got this off of Reddit. I hope it's correct, but there was just recently a story about him and like all of his inventions. And then if you ever see like, the VRs, there's like a thing that could go with it where you just continuously walking, like whatever direction you're walking, it just keep going with it because it's like a platform that just keeps moving and keeps you moving and all of that. So he created that. So he had a lot, but he was inducted. I remember that he was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. So that's pretty cool. He could invent some stuff for us. Like what kind of stuff? I don't know. And there was another person that I was kind of considering. So it's I love following stuff about other planets and discovering other planets and all of that. Like we're talking right now, right? Because where else can we go, right? If this doesn't work out, if Mars doesn't work out, where can we go? So there is this professor of astrophysics and exoplanetary science at the Institute of Astronomy, University of Cambridge, Niku Madhusudan. I can't say it correctly. And him and his team, so there's this planet called K2-18b. It's not very creative. It's so weird how they name planets. So they think there might be, it might be I can't say this correct, a Hycean planet. So it's basically a big ball with the hydrogen-rich atmosphere and possibly a huge ocean. So Mars is closer to us. So Mars is more feasible. This one is not. So they discovered this potentially that this planet might have the building blocks for life. So I think someone who was, it was with the help of the James Webb Telescope, which seems to be discovering a lot lately. Well, that's its job. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I thought he was pretty cool, but we don't really necessarily.
He's cool. Okay. All right. So we got some decisions. We're kicking out Lupe. All right. Lupe's gone.
Yeah, we're not there yet, right? Like I want to build our society. Like the arts, but you know what? It's important to have the arts, right? Like it's part of
and to keep our spirits up. But we can hum our own songs.
We can create our own things. Maybe the atmosphere or the scenes in Mars,
will inspire us. So I can do a little beatbox. It's fine. We got it.
Yeah, I don't. I think Lupe's great, but I don't want rappers yet.
Okay. No Lupe. All right. So then we
turn out to be like a Kendrick, right? Where we think he's like this great person. It's like, oh, you beat your wife.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I just didn't do enough research. I'm willfully ignorant. Okay. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Wait, isn't that a Diddy? Well, Diddy produced it. See,
if you
playing me, keep it on the low. Mario Winans, who was on Bad Boy, all roads lead to the demon Diddy.
That man ain't never marry his baby mama. He gave that woman 3 kids. 4 kids? I don't know how many kids. It's a lot of kids.
You know, the rumor is that
that book.
Look, we can talk about that, and next time we have conspiracy talk.
Ooh, okay.
Next time,
that's a good conspiracy to.
So to like do a little deep dive, Okay, so we have to pay out. So we have someone that does like weather, like a meteorologist for farming. We have an architect. We have an inventor, and then we have like an astronomer.
I think the astronomer
we need the astronomer.
We do, right? Because we're on a brand new planet. Even though we've known about it, we've never actually lived there. So we do need him. Like the inventor, right? Like I think he would be similar to like the city planning person, right? Because they're creative like that. They could see what's needed and then work. I think he could do dual purposes. He could double duty. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
okay. So we will have the meteorologist.
Yes.
We'll have the inventor, and we have the astronomer.
Yes.
All right.
We got our peoples.
We got our peoples for this round. That was pretty easy, but I think it's gonna get harder.
Okay.
All right. Well, y'all, that was our Mars housing lottery, right?
And this leads into our next topic. If I could pull it up, because I always have issues pulling it up. So we're gonna, talking about the Mars lottery, because not only is Earth the ghetto, but things are unraveling, right? Like wars that are going on. Iran's president died. They say his helicopter crashed. It was foggy. They already said it was foggy. I'm like, okay. So whatever that happened. So we're going to talk about what these rich folks are up to. Like they know something we don't. So I want to talk about, let's talk about these doomsday bunkers and what these wealthy folks are up to. And to start out, have you seen the show Fallout by any chance?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. I haven't seen it either. Junie watched it. I have this thing with shows. To me, they're commitments, and I don't really like committing to stuff like shows.
Oh, you got commitment issues.
It's a TV series. I have commitment issues. That's why I watch Game of Thrones, but I'm not watching House of Dragons. And it's too hard for me. So I don't like getting into shows because then it cuts into my time to, I don't know. I'm like, I have all this stuff to do, which I really don't. When it comes to shows, I don't like starting new shows because they do suck up a lot of your time. And sometimes you're like, it's like midnight, you're like one more episode. So
yeah, girl, I'm working
out. I went on the wiki for it, and the show sounds wild, but it sounds like something super plausible. So it's based on a popular video game franchise of the same name, and it's set in a post-apocalyptic world, 2296, and explores the aftermath of a global nuclear war. And I think it was like China and the U.S. really. But the show focuses on the survivors who emerge from like these underground vaults that were designed to protect them from radiations and devastation on the surface. These were fallout shelters constructed by the Vault Tech Corporation. And Fallout, and again, it focuses on the descendants of those people. So let's talk about Vault Tech real quick. And I should have said, if you haven't seen the show, don't listen to this.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I hope you don't mind, Janelle.
No, that's okay.
Want the hell out of this. Okay. Not maybe. So Vault Tech, it was a pre-war defense corporation. So think of your Lockheed Martin, your Northrop Grumman, I think I'm saying that right, Raytheon. So like any of these big old war contractors building our stuff of destruction, weapons of destruction, they bid for these contracts. So the government had a contract to design and implement a network of bunkers known as vaults. And Vaultec won that. They won that contract. And they were designed to protect citizens in case of a nuclear war. Really, they were designed to protect certain people, not everyone. And well, nuclear war did happen, and the really super wealthy were the ones to benefit, right? Like the 0.1%. And again, all of this info I got from the Fallout Wiki. And let me tell you, that stuff, it seems, I know I said it before, but it seems really plausible.
Yeah.
So, and I set this up to what's been going on in the past few years. So this is what's been happening with, like, I think since, like, it's probably been happening because we hear, like, these people in these wealthy homes, they have like panic rooms. There was a movie called Panic Room, where, they could go into their panic rooms if anything happened, but, bunkers are just on another level. And it peaked during COVID because COVID, I mean, we were there. It felt really bleak. It felt like no other time, especially for me, I'm sure people who've gone through major wars have experienced something similar, but like, it just felt like really crazy. So, people are prepping, the rich are prepping. They just, they're not like the preppers we normally think about, right? Which I think is important. But if we think of preppers, sometimes we'll think of these like backcountry people, just with their guns and their ammo, just ready for the breakdown of society. They have the emergency food supply. They know how to farm and they harvest. They make jellies and like
canning. Look at that.
I personally, I love it. I love it. We need some preppers on Mars, okay?
We definitely do.
We do. So these people, they're stockpiling, and there's like a whole subreddit devoted to this stuff. And sometimes I swear they're like, can't wait for this to happen so I can put all of this to use.
I'm just weathermen are like that too. Like, yeah, tornado or hurricane.
Right?
Yes, right?
I'm just gonna plot where these folks live. So like, hey, I heard you had some stuff. So that's how, like, people, middle class, lower middle class, whatever, right? That's their prepping. Now, people with money have taken this up several notches. They have these bunkers. But I'm betting you those folks, those preppers have a better chance of survival. Yeah. But these rich people, though, they outsource their prepping on a magnificent scale. And they're investing in multi-million-dollar bunkers with all of the works. I'm going to go through, I think, an article from the Hollywood Reporter earlier this year probably sums it up better than I could, just pulling pieces from everywhere. So the tagline for this article was, amid World War III fears, apocalypse-fearing moguls are investing millions in survival strategies, including rotating fireplaces out of Indiana Jones and high-tech tactical systems. I'm going to highlight a couple of stuff from it. So,
rotating fireplaces. That's
what, girl. So
okay. The core decision, if anything, but okay.
First person we probably, when it really came to light, was Mark Zuckerberg, right? So it said he's building a 5,000 square foot bunker under his home in Hawaii. The PayPal co-founder, one of the PayPal co-founders, tried to do the same in New Zealand, but that failed. I think they just hated him, so it didn't happen. And Bill Gates, who has several homes, of course, right? This guy who's all about, climate change and humanity and all that. I have several homes and I have bunkers underneath each of those. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true. There are a lot of theories about Bill Gates. I don't know.
All of them are true.
He has a lot of money. So I think when you have a lot of money, you're really weird and you're into some shit. That's just it. So these people, they either work with general contractors to build these like kitted out end of time bunkers, or there are companies. There are companies that this is their business, right? Like you could have like 2 customers and you're set for like several generations.
Definitely.
And some, you have some that they'll focus on bunkers that are like in the 200 to 400K range, right? It's still out of range for most Americans who you can't even afford your first home. Like, how are you going to afford like a 200 to 400K range? That's probably like 300 square foot. And despite the cost, so like business is booming, and I'm sure it's driven by the 1%. There's a Texas-based Atlas Survival Shelters, specialize in this stuff. They're constructing a 7.5 million bunker for a client in Oklahoma. Oh my God!
Wow,
that is in the design phase. So another one. So Al Corby, he is the CEO. This one is wild. I can't remember. I refuse to believe this is real. I need to do more research in this. So he is the CEO of Virginia-based SAFE, Strategically Armored and Fortified Environments. I need to read this word for word because, girl. So this company and this CEO worked on the palatial 27 floor, 4.8 billion Mumbai residence of business mogul Mukesh Ambani of Reliance Industries. While God, the wealth gap is so staggering. Wow. But he revealed in this article that his most spectacular project, due to be completed in 2025, is an island fortress on a 200-acre property in the U.S. with cutting-edge tactical systems. That tactical systems again. So
we have homelessness. So we have homelessness.
Girl,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but girl.
No, seriously, like people are living in cars. There are people who, and it's getting worse because, first of all, the economy is
trash.
Like it's impossible to find a job lately, right? You see all these job postings. And they're like, there's a job shortage. There's not a job shortage. Like people do want to work. You're not hiring them. And if you do hire them, this thing is like so crazy. But let me continue. So this shelter, it can withstand a blast 1 mile from ground zero. Wow. But that was almost incidental. The client, who happens to be a business mogul, was saying, I want to make sure that no one can get to my family. You have a family? Okay. So the company wound up literally building a 30-foot deep lake around the compound, skimmed with a lighter than water flammable liquid that can transform into a ring of fire.
What? Like a moat, like a fire moat.
The only access to the island is a swing bridge.
This is like in a video game.
I'm not done. It is a video game. I'm not done. So this project, there are water cannons that can take down parachuters, Apache helicopters, whatever's coming your way 500 feet in the air.
Wow.
So that dirt, all that dirt from building whatever around the compound, they took all that dirt to build a mountain as natural fortification around the property. And they cut a tunnel through with flamethrowers, gassing systems, a steel wall that closes midway that could stop a 16-wheeler going 80 miles an hour, and bollards at both ends. But this is the fun part, bells and whistles can double as everyday fun. As they wait for the apocalypse, they're going to have fun with their stuff, right? So friends of the owner might enjoy a flag football game on jet skis, dodging the water cannon's ability to lock in and blow them off the skis. So this is creating a mind-boggling adult Nintendo game, a wild entertainment factor. So
that is amazing. Imagine the person that can make their own alcohol so they can be lit, dodging these water cannons.
Oh, yeah. And then the cannons can also blow rainbows into the air as a backdrop to a barbecue or create a rainfall on a sunny day. So the preparation for this alone is millions of dollars, and it's a fraction of the cost of the overall project. And this company, they see a trend of clients with existing bunkers. So clients with bunkers requesting add-on tactical defense components to the tune of about $1 million to upgrade. So
rainbows, that's tactical, shooting rainbows in the...
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it felt so surreal reading this. It's like I was reading a fictional novel.
Yeah, that's crazy.
about a recluse with like too much money, and he's like, I don't know what to do with my money, you know. And you have to go on the website for this if you get a chance. You could do it now on your phone. There's this company called Vivos, which creates underground survival shelters. Their landing page says, the backdrop plan for humanity: secure your space in a Vivos underground shelter to survive virtually any catastrophe. They have a page on prophecies, which I was like, what? And they talk about all of the cultures, the people from the Bible to Nostradamus to the Hopi Indians who have predicted like the end of time. And to get one of their shelters, you need to be a member, right? And members are vetted. It's really how useful you will be to society, which is weird, right? Because the people who could afford your bunkers, they have a lot of money. So my guess is the wealthier in, but they're gonna like they're gonna vet like us poor folks and be like, you know,
yeah.
How can we exploit you? What skills do you have? Because I mean, these people are building these bunkers. They have all these amazing things. Like
well, girl, I'm not getting them. Remember, like, girl, I'm like, I can do an Excel sheet. How about that? That's my skill.
Yeah, but you should look at that website. It's just
I'm looking at it now. Vivos.
It's so dark. It's so dark. And you know, part of me is like, do they know something we don't? You know, is the Bezos clock somehow tied to this? If you remember seeing those stories, like he's building a giant clock in a mountain, cost about $42 million. It would take once a year, bong twice a century, and cuckoo once a millennium. It would be a symbol of long-term thinking, right? Because this business mogul, like who made all of these billions, is really thinking about long-term. Because we all know when it comes to profits, it's all short-term.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's a reminder of a responsibility to the future. You and your peers are responsible for all of this, right? They want to convince us that we need to recycle and like get rid of the straws. Like these major corporations, they're the ones, right? But they're pushing the blame. Like, no, it's you. You should recycle. You know, don't use straws. But whatever. So I'm like, is this tied to that? Like, you know, what are they doing? And then, or, you know, so it's either they know something we don't, or they just have way too much money, and these companies like, well, you have all this money, give us all this disposable cash. It's probably a mix of both, right? Hollywood has been amping up all these like, and it's so crazy, right? Like we're in a state right now where it's like wars and like, you know, the wealth gap is increasing and just things just feel so bleak, you know, which is why we titled our podcast this. And Hollywood comes in, it's like, yeah, we know it's pretty bad, but here's some more movies to get you like
that's right. Put your dystopian on. Just enjoy.
Like, and it's why I don't watch certain things, right? It's kind of why another reason why I don't want to watch Fallout, because a lot of that seems so plausible.
Look, after the pandemic, just it looked like a scene. New York was like a scene from a movie. Like people like lined up at urgent care, like trying to like get tests. Like it's just like it's wild. No toilet paper. Like,
girl, I was in all these with a face mask and some gloves, and I was itchy and I was hot, and I was like, wait, this looks so. I look. And we were all. It's just.
Yeah,
and you know what? These big businesses, they made so much money and they continued making so much money. Like everything is smaller, it costs more, and they're just and now they're blaming, like, hey, you got that stimulus of like $1,000, so this is why we're here. Like, oh, how about those PPP loans that you guys were buying cars? And it was just I hate it here, girl.
Yeah, I really do.
I hate it here, but these people with the bunkers, they are not coming to Mars, because let me tell you, when shit hits the fan, all of that stuff will mean nothing. They can stay in their bunkers with stuff they can't even use, or they can be rated by like male podcast these audiences. I don't know. But emergency planning is important though. Like I have like a what is it, NOAA radio in my shopping cart, and I'm gonna learn how to use a weapon.
No, I should know stuff
Mm.
and have backups of like canned stuff and emergency, like a little mini generator thing, even like a phone jack. I know people don't use house phones anymore, but if you plug in to like a phone jack, you'll get a dial tone. You can dial 911. Just
know, the crazy thing, I was reading the Fallout wiki. So it was a nuclear war, which to me it's pretty much these governments saying this is a no-win war. We're just going to nuke you. Like, we're not thinking about our people. Like, it's a reminder that governments are interested in keeping power.
Yep.
Like, this is why our representatives, they spent, I think it's like upwards of 60 to 70% of their time trying to raise money for re-election, right? So they just get into office. They have a couple of years, but their main focus is making sure they can get re-elected. I'm a Democrat, but when I think about the fact that Biden was around during segregation and he was for it, like he did not want desegregation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, why are you? And there was a clip of him saying, like, older people should move. It's like, why are you here? Anywho, get out and vote, y'all.
Look, okay, we have to talk about a little bit of politics too.
Right? Yeah,
be some time
into politics,
people, but
all of this, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's gonna happen, but yeah, it's I hate it here sometimes. Like,
girl, I don't know nobody with no bunker money. Okay,
girl, like, it's hard enough paying rent and a mortgage.
So bunker money, I don't know them, but I need to start moving in different circles.
A while to me, like, it's like this is a possibility. But when you think about, I mean, it's good to have an emergency plan, and I think that's one of the things that I'm going to focus on in the near future is like have an emergency plan, with the family. Like, where do we go? Where are we meeting?
Yeah,
they talk about having a go bag, right? Like with things that you just need. I'm gonna get like a gas car. I have that electric vehicle, which I'm like, not good for an apocalypse.
Get a hybrid.
Yes, I need something that can take gas. I need
hybrid.
Yeah. So I think that's important. Like, even you just never know.
Like, I mean, if anything, just look at how with the pandemic, right? There are people that had their other houses to go to, and then, there's people that were just, a lot of really poor brown and Black people suffered. It was definitely kind of like a survival of the fittest. Look what happened with the elderly. Like,
it's survival of the fittest, and it's survival of the ones with the most.
Yeah, with the most. So we didn't have summer homes to go to quarantine.
And they're like live streaming, and people eat this up too, right? They see nothing wrong with that. I think I've mentioned this before, but I love The Matrix. I think it's the truth. I think it's my Bible. And
my Black woman.
Yes, girl. And I think this might be a simulation. I think we're in a simulation.
We are.
I think the creators just forgot about it. Now there's a glitch in the system, and there's no one to fix it. So, like, we're just losing our minds.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just losing our minds. Because there's no, and I'm like, it can't be that bad because I know people, right? And no one's this crazy. But then you like, maybe I should just stop. We should just stop going to social media, because that's another thing we're going to talk about, how the internet is, it's called the dead internet, which they're saying that most of the web, 60% bots.
Yeah. I totally believe it. I totally believe it, because like you said, like, what's being perpetuated online is like, I don't know many people that have this line of thinking. And then when I do encounter some people, I'm like shocked, but I'm like, this is not real life.
It's rare, but maybe it's like, we surround ourselves with people who are no, but I live like I'm in Marietta, like Atlanta, right? And like just the people I interact with, I could like they are kind of all over the place, but there's nothing like those personas that you see.
Yeah.
But the internet has to be the way it is, like your feeds, like your Instagram, your TikTok. It has to be the way it is, because you don't keep people with nice stuff.
That's true.
Getting angry, right? Like rage. What is this? Like rage bait. It's like such. Like when I see people like recirculating those videos of like the woman who like she doesn't season her food, or like she doesn't bathe her kids. I'm like, stop circulating these, because they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose, and you give them a platform, and now they're raking in money because you're an idiot. Somehow when I come across it, that I'm just like, but I limit my time on all of that.
I mean, I've recently come back on, and I find myself like, get your scroll on.
I know.
And it's just so easy. Now I have turned off my notifications for IG, so that I'm not like, okay, well, if I happen to go in there and I see someone message me, then fine. But I'm not on Facebook. I'm really just not.
I don't know what the algorithm is, but it's just a weird.
Facebook is very odd from what I hear. So I just, my mental health has been a lot better since I've not engaged in social media, but somehow it's picking up with the algorithm is algorithming, because I'm getting like just kind of pleasant things, like decor and cute animal videos.
Oh, it knows. It could hear you. It could read.
It knows like, girl ain't trying to see.
But apparently it could when you have internal dialogue, I think something moves inside I can't I had the definition. I had the explanation for it, but there's something happening in your vocal cords, like when you have internal dialogue. So there are fluctuations, and they're saying that the phone could pick that up. And I freaking believe it, because there was one, I was thinking about something. I never said it out loud. I was just thinking about it. And what comes on my phone? What do I keep getting asked? I'm like,
so that I'm just like, what kind of mind meld situation is going on?
But they're looking at ways to read our minds. Was it Budweiser or this beer company that it paid people in beer, or idiots, and they like strapped them up just to see if they could like inject like beer stuff into their mind, just to like influence their thinking. And then you have the neural link, but this is another topic for another time. I do have like an AI topic that I cannot wait to get into.
All right.
But that's going to be for next time. It got a little dark. It is going to get a little dark. Sorry.
That's how we do.
That's how we do.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Okay.
Maybe angry. But
okay.
This is not, I don't know. This is how it ends. I thought it was going to end with the Northern Lights, but it did not. We're still here.
We're still here, y'all.
It was weird. Like you can't see it with your naked eye, but you can see it through your phone. That is weird.
That is weird.
I sound like someone who's anti-science. I'm really not anti-science.
I'm pro for it all, okay? I believe.
Look at all sides.
I believe it all, okay? So we have talked about the weird, the normal-ish, the hope for a better life on Mars. And now we're bringing the shady, okay? Shady Astrology, where I get in your zodiac's ass. All right.
Get in there.
Get in there. All right. So Gemini season is approaching. No shout outs. I don't know what the opposite of shout outs are too, but no shout outs to you, Geminis. Okay. And I can talk about Geminis because it's a part of my chart. My Gemini is rising, and when I found out about it, I shed one tear like Denzel Washington in Glory. I was like, I'd be a Gemini. No. I was like, damn. Gemini. So upset. Anyway, for you Geminis, you are an air sign and you're represented by the twins because you got two sides, so you crazy. And so you have, it's from May 21st to June 21st. Notable celebrities, just Kanye West. I just need to say that, Kanye West. There you go. Marilyn Monroe, Johnny Depp, Prince, JFK, Tupac, and Kendrick Lamar. So let's talk about the good with the Geminis, okay? So Geminis can be geniuses. Geminis are visionaries. Geminis are, whatever their focus is, they're very intelligent. They have a thirst for knowledge, very well read. They're just intelligent, curious people, and they have excellent communication skills. Just, look at Kendrick Lamar, Tupac, Kanye West. They have a way with words, right? So you have a lot of rappers that are Geminis, and these are quality rappers. It's not like Lil Boozy. Is Lil Boozy a Gemini?
I don't know who that is.
You know, wipe me down, because I'm on wipe me down. A little Boozy. He's always saying something ignorant in the news, though. But you know, wipe me down. That's Lil Boozy.
I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to, like, I have like 10 songs on rotate. I put on No Diggity, and then YouTube will run the algorithm. And more music. Nina Simone, and then so I don't know. The name sounds familiar. I'm not cool, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, BOOSIEDBADAZZ. That's me. Wipe me down. I'm on wipe me down. Cause I'm on wipe me down. Shoulders, chest, pants, shoes. No.
Here, I hate it.
You danced to wipe me down at school, okay?
I probably did. I danced
at the mocha parties, okay? At the mocha parties.
I'm sure I did. It's been around that long?
Huh?
It's been around that long?
Yeah, that's an old song.
I probably did dance to it.
Yeah. We dropped a little to some things. So.
I mean, we did, girl. We did.
No. Back to these Geminis, all right? They are versatile and they're energetic and they're really good at networking, right? So those are the good things. Now, why I can't stand these mofos, okay? They can be restless, indecisive, and inconsistent, okay? Do not date Gemini men, okay? Because they'll catch you in the little web of like, oh, they're very charming, good conversationalist. And next thing you know, they will ghost you like a hot potato, child. A hot potato. You don't ghost hot potatoes, you drop hot potatoes. My bad. Drop it like a hot potato, okay? And then come back like, what? What happened? What happened? You happened. That's what happened.
So they're not coming to Mars. They're not coming to Mars.
They're not. No Gemini. Well, I'm going to Mars, but that's not my main sign, you know. But no Geminis, no sun sign, star sign.
You're not a Gemini, though. You're not a Gemini.
It's in my rising, so you know you have your sun, moon, and your rising, and so rising is like how you present, like, to the world, right? And so some of these qualities align with me, but you know the bad stuff kind of aligns too, you know. But my Capricorn nature balances it out. But these mofos are just every which way. You can't hold on to them. They're for the streets. Okay, the streets call them all the time. They're like, what streets? The streets call these mofos all the time. Okay, Don't. They are good. What they're here for a good time, not a long time. Okay, so ladies,
we're not quoting Drake. All right.
And Drake took that from somewhere. He
He
appropriated.
probably did. He did, but he made it popular.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
I do like saying it though.
I didn't know that.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'm ashamed. There's some songs that like stick in my head, even though I have like my 10 songs on repeat. Somehow those slip in.
There's songs in my mental Rolodex that I'm very much ashamed. So if you remember, like my Southern rap phase, it was very ratchet.
Is that one? I still sing that song.
Stilettos, pumps in the club. Whoever knew that this girl could get crunk? We rock the stilettos, ho. We rock the stilettos.
That song has stuck with me. Like randomly, like it would pop up and I would just.
Shout out to Razzmatazz in South Carolina. Shout out.
Was it Booty Butt? Oh, was that the Boondocks?
Booty Butt Cheeks. The Boondocks.
Did you see the No, that's for another time. Go ahead, girl. Continue.
But yeah, ladies, if you have some needs, I'm not saying you should be out there, but just they're love them and leave them kind of men. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Again, no shout outs to you Geminis. Something is wrong with y'all. Y'all just need to go on a whole island by yourself. Divide the island in half. And then when you want to act one way, go to the other side, you go to the other side. Just experience each other. That's it for Shady Astrology.
Girl.
Happy Gemini season.
We should have ended with the good. But duly noted, Geminis.
Yeah, girl. There's just certain people like if you say like Scorpio and Geminis, don't nobody want to deal with them.
Yeah.
Scorpio's in my chart too. I'm just very disappointed. What was God thinking? I don't know.
Maybe he wasn't.
But
all right, girl.
All right, y'all. Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. We hope you laughed a little. Sure, you cried a little bit at the state of humanity. I don't know if it instilled any hope. Probably not. But hopefully y'all come back again. And until then, this is how it ends.